Hey guys, today I want to tell you about my experience of learning foreign languages, about how many languages I know, and why actually I started learning languages, or was that my desire? So, the story begins like this. I was about 11 years old when I moved to. Spoiler. I was about 11 years old when my parents came up to me and they're like, we're gonna move to Russia. Then we lived in Armenia. And for some reason, my parents decided to move to Russia. And I was like, wow, I was shocked actually. But, and I was both happy and sad at the same time. Happy because I had always heard that Russia is the biggest country, and I thought that Russia is really beautiful. It was really impressive to me, and I thought that it's a great country. That was imagine of my mind. Uh, I mean, so no. But I was sad at the same time because I needed to say goodbye to my classmates and my friends. But whatever. In several days, we moved to Russia, and I needed to go to school. I went to school, and one problem arose. I couldn't speak any Russian. I couldn't understand any Russian. Yes, I knew several phrases, several words like "Hello, how are you? My name is. What's your name?" Yeah, so the basic stuff that you know in any language. Whatever. At first, it was really hard because nobody could understand me, and I could understand nobody. It was funny. It was hard. Sometimes I could understand them. Sometimes I couldn't, and that was actually the reason of my bullying. I was bullied a little at my school, but it actually lasted not so long, because I learned Russian eventually, and guys tried to bully me and make some jokes, make fun of me just because I don't know the Russian, or when I said something in the wrong way, or pronounced in the wrong way, whatever. That was my bullying. But would you believe me if I say that I learned Russian in 1.5 or at most 2 years, and I spoke then Russian better than the majority of Russians do? Would you believe it or not? So let me tell you how it actually happened. So I'm at school. When I was in Armenia, in my motherland, I was a student. I studied really well, even great. And when I came to Russia, I was like, I don't want to study bad here. I want to study on the same level as in Armenia. So that was my first, how to say that, reason. Yeah, my first reason of learning Russian. The second was actually communicating, to understand people, to talk to them, because you're in a foreign country, you need to talk to somebody, whatever. So, and knowing Russian was just necessity, and I couldn't skip a day and say, for example, today it's the day that I will not learn any Russian because I want so. No, I needed to learn Russian every day. I went to school, and first that I did is listening a lot. I was at classes and I needed to listen a lot to my teachers. That's what I did at first. Of course, I didn't understand at first, but in several days, weeks, I started to understand them more and more and more. After that, I tried to communicate to people. It was hard, but I tried it. Yes, and it was hard, but in several days, weeks, months, it became better, better, and better. The third thing that I did there is going to Russian classes. That it's for everybody. It's Russian. You need to go to Russian classes, and we wrote there a lot. We learned a lot of grammar there. I also went to extra Russian classes. That's how I actually improved my Russians a lot. And I think that learning grammar is the key secret not Russian, learning any language is actually a key secret of learning that language fast. If you want to learn the language fast, you need to learn the grammar. I know a lot of people who say that no, you don't need just talk, just listen to native speakers and that's it. Yes, you can learn the language this way, but it will take a lot of time to you. But if you want to be fluent in a language, you need to learn the grammar. There is no another way. Example, my parents, my mom, my dad, yes, they speak Russian well. Everybody understands them. They understand anybody, but they make a lot of mistakes. So yes, there are situations where they don't understand native speakers. There are some situations. That's just because they didn't learn the grammar. That's my answer actually, because we are Russia in the same amount of time, and I speak better than them. My brother speaks better than them, just because we needed to learn the grammar. It's boring, yes, but we did that because we study at school, whatever. But I mean, that's not for everybody. If you don't want to learn, you just want to talk to people and you don't want to be correct in everything, you say correct at everything. So don't learn any grammar. But I think learning grammar really fasten your language learning, whatever. So at the beginning, it was really hard to study at school. I even cheated off a C student, and I like sat next to him, and I didn't know he's a C student, and I just had to cheat it off him because I didn't know what to do. I couldn't understand anything. I see that guys are writing something. What? I don't understand. Some essay. What essay? I don't know anything, and I just needed to cheat off him. And you know, the most interesting thing is that in 1.5 years, that guy started cheating off me because I studied better than him and I knew Russian better than him. And how is it possible? Just these three tips actually: listening a lot, talking a lot, and grammar. I knew Russian better and I know Russian better just because of actually grammar. And when you guys do the three things at the same time while learning a foreign language, listening, speaking, writing, you will learn the language really fast and you will become fluent and you will speak better than native speakers. I promise you, because native speakers always make a lot of mistakes. Yes, it's paradox, but it is so. And I think you understand that by yourself, you know, when foreign students, foreign people who come to your country and when they speak really well. You're like, oh my God, what's like educated person, intelligent person. Why is it so? Because, you know, the majority of Russians learned their Russian from their grandparents, from their parents, who were born in some villages, not in cities, and they can pronounce several words in a wrong way. For example, there are a lot of Russians who say красивее instead of красивее. It means more beautiful. They make wrong emphasis. They need to say красивее, but they say красивее. Yeah. It's hard to them to learn that again because they always said красивее. Whole their life they said it that way, and it's hard to them to relearn all those words they say incorrect, and they just don't want it actually. So now I can speak correct, can speak incorrect, and I understand people who speak correct. I understand people who speak bad and incorrect. And that's great actually. And I want to say, and I need to say thanks to my Russian teacher. He's like gold, and he's one of the key secret of my fast learning of Russian. The best teacher ever, and I had extra classes with her as well. So that's it. And I also want to tell you, for example, how I prepared to my history classes when our history teacher told us, like, guys, learn this, and that paragraph and tell me. And I was like, okay. I went home, and my grandpa was sitting on sofa and watching Indian movie like TV shows, something like that. And for some reason, Indian TV shows were popular in Armenian television, and he really liked that TV shows, and he was like, "Oh my God, great!" Like, and I interfered him and said, like, "Grandpa, you need to help me. You need to do my homework." And he came to me. We sat at the table, and we read all the text, all the paragraph in Russian. He translated all those texts from Russian into Armenian. I understood that. After that, we took notices in my notebook. After that, I tried to learn all those notices to tell that paragraph in at my history class. And I went to history. I was like, "Can I tell it?" She's like, "Yes, of course." I started telling the history, and she's like, "Great, you're getting B." Inside myself, I was like, "Why B? I mean, I worked so hard alone, and you're giving me B." Of course, I didn't say that to her, but whatever. I wanted A, and I had. Yeah, I understand. I didn't speak like really well, but whatever. I got my B, and that's great actually. If you don't know any language and you're getting B, you're cool. Yeah, I prize myself. So that's it. As for about other foreign languages, for example, English that I speak, you guys, you all understand that I speak English. No, well, I'm not fluent in English, but whatever, I can express my thoughts. I can understand people, and I still try to improve my English. That's why actually I started this channel, this blog. Whatever. Actually, we learn English in Armenian, in Russian, at third, fourth grades at schools. And yes, at third, fourth grades, our teachers were like, "This is a pen, this is a pencil, this is blue, this is yellow." Yeah, they showed us everything and whatever, like some stupid shit for silly children, whatever. But to be honest, I started learning English like really well, and I understood that I want to learn English when I was at 9th, 10th grade. That was about 15 maybe years old. And I understood that yes, I need this language, and I need to learn this language, and I started learning it. And after a while, I understood I'm something B1. Yeah, but when I really liked watching YouTube. I really love watching YouTube now as well, and I do it a lot. And I started watching YouTube videos in English, and it was like hard at the beginning. I couldn't understand a lot actually. I was watching movies, TV shows as well. I like to watch something, whatever, in foreign language. And at the beginning, I couldn't understand a lot actually, but it was like immediately. It was at once. For example, yesterday I couldn't understand anything, but today I'm like, "Oh my God, I understand 90% of what people say." It was really something. I can't even understand how it happened actually, because I remember the day when I was like, "Oh my God, really? I can understand them. Like 90% of what they're saying, I understand. That's great." But yesterday I couldn't do so. I can't still understand that. Maybe something connected with subconsciousness, whatever. So that's how I learned English. I mean, videos and talking. I mean, yes, I go to university and I have I have classmates, group mates from other countries, and they also need to speak English because their Russian is not really well, and they try to communicate to me in English, and that's great because I improved my English. So that's it. The next language is Chinese. Actually, Chinese is the language I really love, and I really get a lot of joy while learning Chinese. I think it's the one of the best languages I've ever learned. It's really interesting. Everything there is interesting, and I learn it the same way I've learned English. I mean, YouTube, TV shows. Several days ago, I watched one TV show, and its name is. I mean, the Russian title is actually the beginning. I don't remember. It's about time cycle. It was really interesting. I watched that in Chinese. That was great. I could understand sometimes I couldn't. I tried to read the characters, Chinese, whatever. Great language. I love Chinese a lot. I think now I'm something about HSK2, HSK3. In English levels, it's something about A2, B1, something like that, I think. Yeah, that's it. So, and I actually, I learned Chinese about 2 years, but I actually can't say so because I had a lot of periods when I was like, no, I'm like burnt. I don't want to learn anything, to study anything. But if I some days, like when I learn Chinese, it will be something half a year maybe, and it's great. Whatever. Let's go forward. Or now, Chinese. 我非常爱你们，我非常喜欢中文和中国人。谢谢你们大家。Next about German. Let it be German. I actually spent only 1 month on learning German, but you know, in only 1 month, I improved my grammar. I learned only grammar when I studied German. Germany. I'm sorry. Yes, Germany. I spent only 1 month and I learned a lot of grammar. And in 1 month, I think I reached A2, B1 level. And you know, yes, I can speak, actually. I can speak. But when I read the text in Germany, I mean, I understand it. I can't say the whole text, but I can understand what they're talking about, what's the text about. When German people speak to each other, I understand them a little bit, actually. And it's great, you know, you learned the language only 1 month, that's it, and you can understand them a little bit. That's great. I have actually watched one German movie for German learners. Don't remember the title actually, but great movie for learners. And yeah, I actually love German because, you know, everybody thinks that Germany is not a beautiful language. They think it's harsh, and I also thought so. But when I started learning this language, I understood it's not so, and it's really beautiful language that I didn't know about. When you just listen, because you know, we think that Germany is actually a harsh language, rough language, just because of one person that we all know, because he always talked like that, like blah 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 blah. But when you try to learn Germany, oh my god, let me Google it, please. Germany or German? I'm kind of confused actually. How to say it? German, I was right. Why do I say German? Deutsch. That's great. So, yes, German. Yes, we think that's rough language because of one person, but when you try to learn this language by yourself, you understand it's actually pretty beautiful. It's great language, and I advise you to try to learn this language. For some reason, I dropped it, but I think I need to continue learning German. Now I continue learning Chinese, and maybe I will combine it. Maybe I will, you know, learn Chinese and German at the same time. And the other languages are French and Turkish. I also learned them not for so long, 1 month, 2 months, 3 maybe, and I dropped them for some reason. I'm not proud of that. I needed to continue learning them, but whatever. I'm like, you know, girls, I have periods. And sometimes I want to learn this language, sometimes that language, but I understood it's actually wrong. And I need to learn one language, and when I finish it, start learning another language. Now I want to finish Chinese. So, and everything now, whatever language I try to study, I do that online. using apps, using YouTube, using TV shows, videos, and I will release one more video where I will tell you my methods of learning languages, what kind of apps I use, yes, and where do I watch movies, what kind of subtitles, etc., etc., etc. So my experience. So thank you guys a lot, and I hope you don't judge me for my English. It's not the best, and I understand it will be really hard to listen to you. I mean, it will be hard to you to listen to me. That's what I mean. So goodbye. Thank you for watching me. See you soon.